Lauren, thank you so very much. Congress now less than 2 months to go before the traditional August recess to pass some major legislation. So, question is, are they going to be focusing on the oil spill? Will they focus on a Supreme Court nomination, an energy bill, or all of the above? A lot of members are also concerned about the upcoming election. So they've got their work cut out for them. Joining us now, Susan Ferrechio, chief congressional correspondent with the Washington Examiner, to try to put this all in perspective. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So what's the big plan of attack now for the folks up on Capitol Hill with less than 2 months before the planned August recess?
I think there's going to be a lot of talk about environment and the oil spill. I think there'll be a bill to address the oil spill cleanup and to address future regulation of oil drilling. And I think on top of that, it's going to kind of springboard into climate and energy legislation. They're going to see how far they can go with an energy and climate bill now that there's been this big oil spill. Some people think it's going to make it too hard to move a big energy and climate bill, but the spill has gotten to be so serious that it could provide the impetus to actually move something slightly more aggressive than they were initially planning.
Yeah, we all see with when it comes to what happens up on the Hill, there always seems to be that one key issue that seems to push everything else to the back burner. How long can we keep this focus on what's happening in the Gulf without having to get to some of these other things that have been simmering for a while?
Well, they do have to get to these other things no matter what. For instance, Elena Kagan's nomination to the Supreme Court, that's got to get done because the court meets in October and they want to get it done before the August recess. But this is all going to really depend on what happens in the Gulf and how quickly this spill can get under control. You know, this is going to be a key week for Obama to, show that he's got control of the situation. If it just gets worse, then I think the environment and oil drilling is going to really kind of dominate the summer. But if it sort of gets under control, we're going to see a lot of the attention focused on, again, job creation, and again, the Elena Kagan nomination. There's a treaty, a nuclear arms reduction treaty that they're supposed to ratify in the summer, and some other issues too that they supposedly needed to get done before they leave town.
Yeah, we heard the president over the weekend talking about a push to try to save more jobs when it comes to just the jobs that we rely on people, the safety workers, the teachers, that type of thing, which a lot of people say, hey, listen, the jobs, the economy, this is still a huge issue. Let's not forget about that.
Well, unfortunately, in Congress right now, everybody's really wary about spending more money. That's another big issue right now is the deficit. It's a $13 trillion deficit, humongous deficit, and the lawmakers are so afraid of adding to it right now that Obama's push for this additional $50 billion for, like you said, to avoid teacher layoffs, firemen, other important essential city workers that are going to get laid off across the country. Congress is saying, we don't want to do this unless we can find a way to pay for it. But to do that, you either need to raise taxes or make painful cuts. So right now, there's sort of a stalemate in Congress right now about what to do about this request from Obama to try to move this additional $50 billion in stimulus spending.
And unfortunately for the members of Congress, not just what to do and not wanting to make cuts because of what it might do for the American people, but what it might do for their own job. Because nobody in Congress right now, with the elections looming, wants to say, look, we're the bad guys right now when it comes to how people look at us. How important are the upcoming elections?
It's critical. And whenever you're approaching a key election year, it's harder and harder for Congress to get things done. And this is a big, big election because it's the midterm election. It's going to really kind of speak to Obama's presidency. If he loses a lot of Democratic seats, it's going to be considered a failure. And these members don't want to lose their jobs. A lot of them are from areas that are kind of swing districts, Republican and Democrat. And they need to be really careful, these new Democrats, about what they do. So it's going to be difficult to get them, for instance, to get on board for this extra money that Obama's asking for. He also wants another $58 billion for the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And that's another huge spending bill that Congress needs to tackle. So you're going to see that really dominating the summer alongside environmental issues. What to do about this need for more spending and how to balance that with the enormous debt.
Yeah, and the wars that hasn't been talked about that much. Is the pressure really on the Democratic members of Congress right now because of the elections and because of where the Democrats stand?
Absolutely. I mean, they're in the hot seat. They're going to have to figure out a way to balance all this. And you see them sort of yesterday on, the morning talk shows, the House Majority Leader talking about this additional money that Obama wants and kind of saying, well, maybe we can look in the extra money from the stimulus, the $800 billion stimulus that we passed almost 2 years ago. Maybe we can find money there. I mean, they're really getting, a little bit squeamish about spending money, but yet they have to find a way to come up with it at the same time.
And is there more pressure now if we get closer to the August recess and things have not been done, if they take a break during this time without passing some of this legislation?
The upcoming recess sometimes will serve as an impetus for them to get things done. They know it's coming. They need to move quickly because nobody wants to stick around in August. And the key reason is they need to get out there and campaign. And so there's going to be this mad rush to get things done so that people can get out there and try to save their own jobs.
Well, getting things done would be a nice thing for people to see around here. Susan Ferrechio, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We certainly do appreciate it.